There is a kind of calm that disturbs people, a silence that feels dangerous. It's not the calm of indifference. It's the calm of someone who has already faced their storms and come out untouchable. You've seen it before. That person who, when everything falls apart, doesn't even blink. The fire burns, the world screams, but they simply breathe. That is the mind of the warrior, the unshakable mind. This is the state that Miyamoto Musashi, the undefeated samurai, mastered. But what he found was not exclusive to the sword. It was the same truth the Stoics of Rome, the monks of Kyoto, and the psychologists of our modern age eventually discovered. Mastery is not control over the world. It is control over yourself. If you've ever lost your composure in an argument in public under pressure, you know the feeling. The mind races, the chest tightens, the words stumble, and afterward, you wonder, why can't I stay calm? Why do I always lose to the moment? The answer is simple. Because you are still fighting with your emotions instead of training with them. Musashi didn't fight emotion. He transformed it into movement. He learned to face fear without resistance. And what he called Fudoshin, the immovable mind, was not the absence of fear, but the absence of disturbance. To understand this, you need to forget everything you've been taught about calmness. Calm isn't closing your eyes and whispering affirmations. Calm is a weapon. It's what allows you to act with precision when everyone else hesitates. It's the power to cut cleanly through chaos without leaving emotional debris behind. And before we go further, if you seek that kind of calm, subscribe to Dojo Path now. This is not entertainment. It's training. Training for those who want to move through life like warriors of stillness. Musashi fought more than 60 duels to the death and never lost. But his true weapon wasn't his sword. It was his mind. He said, "The true warrior is not tense, but ready." It meant that he carried no excess motion, no waste, no noise. The same energy that a panicked man burns in seconds, Musashi conserved for the single decisive strike. But what most people never understood about Musashi's system, his Book of Five Rings, is that it was not just about combat. It was a map of consciousness. Earth, water, fire, wind, and void, 5 elements not of nature, but of being. Earth is stability, the ordinary mind that does not change with circumstance. The Stoics called it ataraxia, equilibrium of the soul. It's the ability to remain the same person, whether praised or blamed, victorious or defeated. Imagine how different your life would be if other people's moods or your own fleeting emotions had no power over you. Water is adaptability, flow without losing form. In the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu wrote that water is the softest thing, yet nothing can resist it. Musashi knew that rigidity was death. When your opinions harden, when your pride refuses to bend, you break. The adaptable survive. Not because they are weak, but because they know when to yield and when to strike. Fire is directed intensity, controlled power. Most people burn uncontrollably, bursts of motivation followed by exhaustion. The disciplined burn continuously, like a lamp that never goes out. Musashi cut away distraction until his focus was absolute. He ate the same food, trained at the same hour, repeated the same strikes. The world called it obsession. He called it freedom. Wind is perception, reading the field, seeing clearly. The Zen monks called it mushin, the state of no mind. When thought no longer interferes with sight, and you see the truth as it is, not as your fear paints it. It's what the Stoic philosopher Epictetus meant when he said, "It's not things that disturb us, but our interpretation of them." And then there is void, the highest level, pure emptiness, the silence before thought, the space where awareness exists without identity. It's what Zen calls satori, awakening. It's not mystical. It's the moment you stop trying to win, stop trying to prove, stop trying to control. You simply are. Musashi lived in that void during battle. When his sword moved, it was not him who moved. It was the moment itself. This is the highest level of presence, when you stop acting as someone performing calmness and simply become calm. But how do we get there? In our world, the world of alarms, deadlines, traffic, and endless notifications, it starts with understanding pressure. Pressure is not real. It's the body's way of warning the mind. Your heart beats faster, your breath shortens, adrenaline floods your bloodstream, and your brain interprets this as danger. But the modern battlefield is not the sword. It's the boardroom, the classroom, the screen. You are fighting shadows. The body reacts as if life is at stake, even when all that's at stake is your pride. A neuroscientist at Stanford once said, "The body cannot tell the difference between physical danger and social evaluation." That means the same system that helped Musashi survive a duel is the same one that makes you nervous in a presentation. The problem isn't the system, it's your relationship with it. So Musashi trained to remain composed even as death stared at him. You must train to remain composed as your ego trembles. You can't meditate your way out of life. You have to train your way into peace. Start with the earth, the stable mind. Each morning, sit in silence for 5 minutes. Not to relax, but to observe. Watch your thoughts like passing clouds. Don't fix them. Don't fight them. See how your mind invents chaos out of stillness. The act of observation itself begins to separate you from reaction. Then move to water, the adaptable mind. In daily life, practice flexibility. When plans change, when someone frustrates you, when a situation turns, notice your resistance. Breathe. Flow around it instead of through it. The moment you stop insisting on control, power returns to you. Then fire. The disciplined mind. Every day, do one thing that demands focus. It can be reading without distraction, training without a phone, or working on a single task until finished. Each time you complete what you start, you strengthen the neural muscle of calm persistence. Then wind, perception. Start seeing clearly. Observe your own patterns. When do you lose control? What triggers your frustration? What words make you flinch? This is your enemy's territory. Not out there, but within. And then, when all this becomes natural, you approach void, the space beyond striving. It's not achieved. It happens when effort dissolves. One day you simply realize, I am no longer trying to stay calm. I am calm. Before we continue, pause for a moment. If this resonates with you, subscribe to Dojo Path, because this is not just philosophy, it's training. Every video is a dojo for the mind, where ancient wisdom meets modern struggle. Musashi once said, "You must understand that there is more than one path to the top of the mountain." Zen says, "When you reach the summit, keep climbing." Both mean the same thing. Mastery has no finish line. Calmness is not a destination. It is a way of walking. We live in a world that celebrates noise, constant opinions, emotional reactions, outrage masquerading as passion. But the samurai knew that silence was the highest expression of power. When you speak only when necessary, your words carry weight. When you move only with purpose, your actions cut through the noise. There's a story of a monk asked, "Master, how do I control my mind?" The monk replied, "Show me your mind and I will calm it." The student said, "I cannot find it." The monk smiled, "Then it is already calm." This is the essence of void. You are already what you seek. You've just been distracted. Modern psychology now calls this meta-awareness, the ability to observe the mind without being trapped inside it. Musashi called it no mind. The Stoics called it reason in harmony with nature. The Buddha called it awakening. But they were all describing the same thing: the freedom that comes when you stop identifying with your emotions. Imagine how different your life would be if you could feel fear without being moved by it. If anger passed through you like smoke. If stress no longer owned your heartbeat. That is not fantasy, that is training. Every calm breath is a blade sharpened. Every moment of stillness is armor forged. You don't escape the battlefield, you bring peace into it. The modern warrior is not one who fights enemies. It is the one who faces life with presence. When others complain, you adapt. When others panic, you breathe. When others react, you remain. That's not detachment. That's power refined through awareness. And yes, people will misunderstand you. They'll call you cold, emotionless, strange. But remember, mountains don't explain themselves to storms. The calm that unsettles others is proof that you've reached a level they haven't yet imagined. So the question is simple. Do you want to be admired, or do you want to be unshakable? One fades with opinion. The other stands eternal. Train your mind. Master yourself. Walk the dojo path.